Hey everyone, I'm picking a bone with Jon Ralston. He is of the Ralston Reports, his blog, and has covered the Nevada legislature. I had a great respect for his work, but right now, no, because he basically, when other Raider fans and other listeners presented to him the link to my video blog reporting my interview with Southwest Airlines Vice President of Airport Affairs, Bob Montgomery, he failed to note it. Another colleague of mine said to him, "Hey, how come you didn't notice this?" And I kind of went a little overboard and said, "Well, is it because then he's black?" And hey, it was bold, but in your bold media, fine. I went along and I went, what about that? And he said, basically, come on, so many words. But I said, but hey, what about this whole issue of that news? Why not report that Bob Montgomery said no to Bali High golf course? I said, and he said, because it's not a blockbuster report. And I thought, excuse me, Steve Sisolak thought that what Bob Montgomery had to say produced blockbuster news earlier. And so then John, I said, so how come you don't think so now? It's the same person making the same comment. And I referred to the fact that Bob had produced this letter and it was reported, in June 30th of this year, and July 30th this year, excuse me. And so Ralston shoots back on Twitter, well, did he write you a letter? And I said, wait a minute. Are you saying to me that I'm lying about the interview that I had with Bob Montgomery? Because if he's not, then he has to agree that my interview was the place where Bob Montgomery said no to Bali High Golf Course as a site for an Oakland Raiders stadium in Las Vegas. Period. There's no need to write another letter. He already made his point in his talk with me. It's very much the same as if, let's say, Ian Rapport of NFL Network says that he talked to Les Snead, and Les Snead reported that Jared Goff was going to be the second starter, and that this was something that he had discussed with head coach Jeff Fisher of the St. Louis Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. Had to adjust there. Something like that, right? But it's Ian saying he had the conversation. So under Jon Ralston's logic, I have to say to Ian, hey, did you get a letter from Les Snead stating that? That's completely disrespectful to Ian Rapport, just as John was completely disrespectful to me. Then he said something else that was equally troubling, that the FAA was basically going to ignore Southwest Airlines. And I'll tell you something, that is information that I informed Montgomery that he said, because that's come from a number of people within those Vegas circles, and it's very dangerous to think that they can end run Southwest Airlines using the FAA. Someone else, I don't know this person, released the idea that the FAA could be bought off. That someone else is also in Las Vegas. I'm going to tell you people who are watching this, who are from Las Vegas, you're playing with a very, very, very important asset in McCarran International Airport. It can't be something that is thought as secondary to your desire to have an NFL team, and therefore it must acquiesce to your wishes. That facility serves organizations worth multi-billions of dollars and are responsible for the safety of millions of passengers every year. Southwest Airlines, 12 million alone coming into Las Vegas. To think that the FAA can be bought off, or to announce the idea on Twitter that the FAA can be bought off or made to basically end run or run afoul of the objections to the major air carriers of these United States, is absolutely not only crazy, but completely naive and unquestionably disrespectful, both to Bob Montgomery of Southwest Airlines, but also to United Airlines, Spirit Airlines, and all the other airlines that serve Las Vegas, as well as airlines in the United States throughout the world. That's completely wrong. It's completely wrong. The real problem here is the complete lack of professionalism that exists within the Las Vegas media. Jon exhibited it because Jon says, oh, he's a journalist, right? I'm a blogger, not a journalist. I've said that repeatedly again and again. I'm a blogger, not a journalist. I'm not trained as a journalist. But I know this. If I want to check something, I make a call to the person I need to talk to, like Bob Montgomery. All Jon Ralston had to do, who claims he's a journalist, okay, is call Bob Montgomery at Southwest Airlines, which I know for a fact that he has not done to this point, and basically follow up, ask the same questions, or see if Montgomery will give him the same answers. He will. And move forward. But he didn't do that. You know why Jon didn't do that? Because he wants to maintain favor with his Las Vegas friends who are involved in the SNTIC and make them happy, rather than being the person that comes out and rubber stamps the bad news that Zinni Abraham generated, who's this Oaklander that they can't stand. So that is the latest. That's what's going on here. You've got Ralston's behavior, which is completely unprofessional. You've got the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which is owned by Sheldon Adelson, which is CEO of Las Vegas Sands, which is partnered with the Oakland Raiders. So basically, the Review-Journal says what will help Adelson achieve his objective. And it sounds like that's what Ralston's doing as well. Doesn't want to upset the apple cart and wants to... I have no idea what he wants to do. All I know is this. And I said to him this on Twitter, because he says, I have no idea what you mean. I said, in a perfect world, all of us should be working together as one unit, or words to that effect. What I mean by that is, if I report something and I call Bob Montgomery, Jon can ask me about it, interview me about it, as Dr. Death did on his show last night, and report it. And so can someone else. But to critique me and imply that I didn't interview Bob Montgomery, no. That's beyond the pale. No. Loss of friendship there. Sorry.